There it goes. Do not hit the water pipe. There we go. Yeah, baby. EcoFlow. All right, let's get the bags on. Paul, if you can you go turn off the main breaker real quick? Yeah. All right, guys, so today we got a good one. We are installing the EcoFlow Smart Home Panel 3 and the Delta Pro Ultra X. You got that turned off? Yeah. Nice. EcoFlow sent us this unit because they wanted a licensed electrician to install the Smart Home Panel 3 and then plug the Delta Pro Ultra X into it. This is a perfect setup for those of you who want to prepare for a disaster. These batteries act as a generator to back up your entire house. This is a whole home setup. So if you're someone who wants to have backup power in case of a disaster, or let's just say your utility company turns your power off all the time, this is an amazing setup. Second, and more importantly for me, I live in San Diego. We have one of the highest utility rates in the entire country. What's really important to me is to save money on my electricity bill. So what we're gonna do here is at nighttime, from midnight to 6 a.m., I can charge these batteries at a super low rate. And then in the daytime from 4 to 9 p.m., where electricity is most expensive, I can shift the load from pulling off of utility power to battery backup and save myself money on my electricity bill. So let's get this thing installed. All right, let's get some earplugs in and get some gloves on. Paul, if you can, let's go ahead and start opening up those boxes and getting the inverter, the wheels on it, all that, and we can stack the batteries on it. I'm gonna start tearing apart the sub panel over here. So what we got over here, guys, this is a sub panel at my house that was already installed by the builder. And what this sub panel is it has all the critical loads to the house. It's really cool that the home builder already set this up to where we could back up with a transfer switch right here. This is gonna be obsolete now. So I'm actually gonna leave it here because I don't want holes in my walls left. And if I ever need this, I wanna have it here still. But basically we're gonna take this sub panel out directly on the back side. I'm not sure if you can see, but see the gray right here? The main panel is right on the back side of this. So it actually works out great. Our studs are 14 1/4 inside to inside, which is the exact dimension of the Smart Home Panel 3. And we already actually laid this out. So bottom of the panel, might be hard to see, is this pencil mark right here. That's bottom of the panel. And this is gonna be top of the main panel that's outside. And then this will be top of the Smart Home Panel 3. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut the drywall here. We gotta take out our NEMA 1450 car charging outlet out. We're gonna have to drop this lower, get it out of the way. And the EcoFlow Smart Home Panel 3 is gonna go right here. We're gonna take all of the circuits out of the main panel and all of these circuits as well and put them in the Smart Home Panel 3. And they're now gonna be fed from that panel. Is that a battery, Paul?
Yeah.
These things got a little bit of weight to them, don't they?
Oh yeah.
There's one. Let's get our gloves on. Just go ahead and do one more voltage check here. So I know a lot of you guys might be like, oh, this is a sponsored video. I would not be installing this at my house if I didn't think that this was the best setup. So we've installed a whole bunch of these now here in San Diego. And even as far up as like San Bernardino County. This literally is the best setup that I could find. And EcoFlow was nice enough to send me a setup so we could do an installation video. Let's get the second battery out. Look at that, dude. There we go. EcoFlow sends us everything that we need. So you can plug in solar directly to this shut-off switch here. Let's say you have a ground mount system or you have a system that you want to add. You can plug directly into here and you're set with solar straight to the inverter itself. Let me take you out here to the main panel. We're gonna double check the voltage on this before we start tearing apart that sub panel in there. Let's check this. It's dead. So most of the panels in San Diego are gonna be somewhat like this. So what we have is utility power comes in right here. It goes over here to the meter, goes through and up these bus bars right here, these two. So right now, those two are actually still hot, right? So I'm gonna do a live dead live test real quick. I don't wanna just assume that my meter works, right? So we're gonna go live. You can see we have power is on. Then we'll check on this side, power is off. Okay? And then we go back here, power's on. So that lets me know it's called live, dead, live. All right? I wanna make sure that the meter actually works. You never know if the batteries died the second you tried to come out here and test the voltage. That's why we do live first. Okay, the meter works, dead, it's not on. Live again, the meter was working as I was testing this. Does that make sense? So we have to be careful because right here is live all day. We're not allowed to touch the utility meter and I'm not going to touch it. So that's gonna stay connected. The second thing we need to do is we need to shut off the solar. So I wanna turn that off just in case. In San Diego, as soon as main power is lost, the solar panels should not be producing anymore. But just to be safe, I wanna turn them off. Some of you might have a disconnect or a rapid shut off somewhere by the main panel or inside. You wanna make sure that we turn off all of those breakers so that there's no solar backfeed whatsoever. So we'll do it, same thing here, and it's dead. So we have nothing coming in at us. We're safe, and we need to get a lockout tag out on this breaker so that throughout the day while we're working, nothing gets turned on. You get that set up, Paul?
Yeah.
Nice. So on the side here, we have battery port, AC power, in and out port, okay? So for what we're doing, we're gonna go here and here. This goes in. Make sure it's all the way in. And then these have locks on them. Lock and lock, just like that. And then we do the second one like this. See that, Paul? Right here. Put that in. Make sure it goes all the way in. Lock, lock. Let's see how much juice they gave us to start with, dude. Look at that. Dude, I love this thing so much. 30%. It's really cool, dude. So it came with 30%. Super clean looking. All right, let's get the Smart Home Panel 3 pulled out and set up, get it all together. Grab our lockout tag out real quick. There we go. Make sure it's on there. Make sure it's tight. This on here. Close this out. There we go, we're safe. All right, you got that, Paul?
Yeah.
Nice, dude. So this is the Smart Home Panel 3. Got the nice plastic on it. This is really critical actually because when we're drilling holes, these shavings can fall down in here, right? So keep this plastic on here. This right here, this is gonna go right below. This is the smart inlet box. So this is where everything plugs in. So the inverter is gonna plug in right there. This inverter right here, this is a 12,000 watt inverter. This setup, the reason why I love it so much is if I add loads and I need more inverter power to pump to my house, you can plug 3 of them in here. So you could have 12, 24, 36,000 watts pumping to your house if you needed to. So for the bigger homes, this is awesome. And it's considered a portable setup. Obviously the panel itself is not portable, but this is. So if you needed to take this somewhere with you, if there was a disaster or you needed to go camping even, it's pretty heavy, but you could take it with you if you needed to. You can plug solar panels directly into the side here, right there. It's hard to see, but you got MC4 connectors right there where you can plug a solar panel directly into it. You got the EV charger plug out.
Yeah.
All right, and then we're gonna take these nipples out.
Yeah.
But I want to, like I said, I want to leave that in. I don't want to pull the transfer switch out in case we need it in the future. Just take these wires out of here, bro. I know I said coil them up, but let's just take them out. Do not hit the water pipe, dude. This is our mark right here, right? All right. There we go. Nice and clean. Measure the smart home panel.
45.5.
Right there. Right there. Our edge is gonna be like right there. There you go. All right, let me get some safety glasses on, bro. All right, let's do this. Nice, dude. There's the main panel right there. We got the height almost perfect, Paul. Look at that. Just like an inch below. And then the 3-inch conduit right there, that's nice. So you don't, here, Paul, you don't have to recess the panel in the wall, but we're going to. I would rather not have this sticking way off the wall. You can go surface mount, and that's what we do most of the time is we go surface. But we have to take this out of here anyways. So I figured let's slide it in and then we can just nipple between here and the Smart Home Panel 3 and we're good to go. So let's get this top piece out. There it is. Nice, dude. Another thing that's really important when we do this is to make sure your labeling's all good. So we have quiet cools on a 2-pole 15, non-AFCI. Then everything else in this panel is AFCI, Paul. All right, so let's make sure we don't forget that. And the best thing about this, Paul, you already know this, but the Smart Home Panel 3 can use any type of breaker. Eaton, Siemens, Square D, or GE, which is now ABB. I'm just gonna take the existing breakers that we have and put them in here. You don't have to have some special, you know, proprietary circuit breaker in here. You can have all 4 of the major brands. You want to start tearing apart the main panel on the outside, and I'll keep going on this side.
Yeah.
Remember, the solar's staying and the EV charger is staying. I'm just gonna clip them. It's gonna take forever if we don't unscrew them later. All the ground's out as well. Very cool thing about the Smart Home Panel 3 is that every single one of these circuits is going to be labeled. We'll be able to see how much is being drawn from every single circuit individually. So I will be able to tell, okay, this circuit is pulling way too much power, or it's on at the wrong time, or whatever. And the other thing is we can do load shedding. So let's say we do lose power, you know, in our area, a lot of people out in the mountains, Palomar Mountain, Big Bear, wherever, the utility companies turn their power off all the time, right? Well, let's say I only have one inverter and it's 12,000 watts, right? I only have one Delta Pro Ultra X. We can load shed. So we can tell the Smart Home Panel, hey, when you notice that there's no more utility power, I only want to power these specific circuits. So like a car charger, right? So do not power the car charger circuit, or do not power the jacuzzi, or do not power whatever. And you can tell it in the app specifically what you want backed up in like an emergency outage situation. There it goes. Got it. I'm gonna put a little piece of tape around here so we don't lose any of the labels. Paul, you ready for me to start clipping?
Yeah, this side.
Nice and easy. Let's just do a dry fit of this real quick, Paul. Make sure it's gonna slide in there. I mean, it's definitely gonna fit. It's gonna be snug. We really need to make sure that knockout on the bottom is lined up, you know? And we should probably get the EV charger fixed. So let's get this off. Ready, 1, 2, 3.
That's fine, huh?
Yep, 2-inch through the back.
Yeah.
No, that's right.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's right. Right there. Let's get this bad boy in there. That's our measurement. 2 1/8. Right there, 2 1/8. I want to put an extra piece of cardboard in here, Paul, so the shavings don't melt the plastic. And one thing I didn't think about was this going in, dude. This has to go below it.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna fit. We have to cut the flanges off the sides, I think, to get it to recess in there. But it should be good. You like the hot shavings?
No.
All right, we got our first one. Let's get us a straight line here. 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches, 3, and 7. There we go. We gotta go over 2 1/8 exactly. Do not want to be wrong with this one. I don't want to go like right there. Perfect. There we go. Let's knock it out real quick. There it is. All right, ready? Let's go top in first. Oh, look at that. It's just barely not lining up. There it went. And all else fails, grab a bender. There it goes. Look at that. That's in, dude.
Yeah.
That is all the way in. Let's get a lock ring on there, and I'll tell you when, okay? Right there. Landed?
Yeah, it sucked it in.
Nice. Do this one now. Then we'll get the top. We'll be golden. Let's just get it snug real quick. I'm gonna double check the torque. 20 and 1. Can you hold the wire, bro? There it is, right there. And we just got this bad boy calibrated. See that? Thing is good. Right here we see 250 foot-pounds. Or sorry, inch-pounds right there. There. On there. Let's torque this one. Hold that breaker as we normally do. There it is. Got it. Almost. There it is. Shake them both a little bit. Do it one more time. Good. There we go. There we go. So we need ground, don't we, Paul?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go grab it. If you can just keep going, make up the panel on the outside first and close it up. And then you know how to do the rest. I'll be right back. All right, we got the ground. Paul, how's everything looking?
Good.
You got L1 and L2 landed there. You took the ground to neutral bond off. Yeah, that's good. All right, I'm gonna go close the main panel. The ground in there, let's double check it. Should be good on this side, bro. Through there. So for all these spaces, we need to go get blanks to blank this off because obviously we can't leave this wide open like that. There we go. Got them all in. We're safe. Let's go finish this up. Turn it on. All right, so this needs to go right here. Okay, we're gonna take these off. Got it. There you go. That's it. Heck yeah. I love it. All right, so we're gonna wire this up, finish it up, turn it on. One thing that's really important that a lot of guys miss is this EF comm right here. Right here, EF comm. You need to run a Cat 5 or Cat 6 down, and it plugs in that port right there. So you have to have that communication or it's gonna show a red error light as soon as you turn it on. And there you go. Line voltage here from the utility. Battery feeds here, L1, L2, L1, L2. Neutrals, grounds, and just pay attention. Make sure if this is a sub panel, you remove this bonding jumper right here. Make sure, as I said before, you install this Cat 6. It goes from EFCOM to this port right here. And then we got L1, neutral, ground, L2. Here we go. There it is. There it is. There's that one. There we go. That one. There's 23. Got it. There we go. All right, then we pop this thing back on here. There it goes. And make sure when you're putting this on that you don't pinch it. Get the door on. There we go. Nice and clean. Yeah, baby. EcoFlow. So this is the cable that comes so we can plug the Delta Pro Ultra X into Smart Home Panel 3 via the smart inlet box right there. All right, Paul, if you want to jump to the other side, we can turn the 200 amp on. I'll check voltage. This little button right here, just so you know, if the dead front is not on the panel, all of the relays behind the breakers will be open. So it's a safety feature that they have. You have to have the dead front on. If you're an electrician and you need to troubleshoot it, you can just put a piece of tape on here to keep it pushed in so that all the relays can stay closed. And there's also some breaker clamps that go right here where these screws are in here, if you can see that, to hold the breakers in place. We gotta go grab them and install them. But I wanna get this thing fired up real quick. Be sure we're good. Bam, look at that. Coming hot. There it goes. Grid's on, right there. Nice and clean. No error lights, we're good to go. Just so you know, this is an emergency stop button. If your city requires that you have an EPO, an emergency power off button outside, they do have one that you can buy. It's a 2-wire setup that lands on 2 of the ports right down here in the bottom of the panel. So you can purchase that extra if you need that to pass inspection. So as I said, watch, you can hear, those are all the relays closing. So with this safety mechanism right here, if you let it go, they all open up, just like that. There's our 2 big relays right there. I want to do a voltage check on this panel. Paul, can you push that button in real quick? There we go, 120, 120, 240, and then to neutral, 120, 120, golden. Here we go, Paul. There it is. All right, we're gonna get cleaned up and then plug in the Delta Pro Ultra X and pull the Smart Home Panel 3 into the app, firmware update, and then I'll show you how to program this whole thing. As soon as you get into the EcoFlow app, it should discover the Smart Home Panel. You just wanna add that real quick. A lot of times, customers have problems if they have a big house and they don't have a booster. So that's my booster right there for Wi-Fi. Right now I have it powering off of this, so you definitely want to have your Wi-Fi up and running, or you can run into a lot of problems. I got the right time zone. Now we want to select 120, 240, 60 hertz, 200 amp. If you're only installing a 125 amp main or something like that, you want to put the correct breaker size in there. But here, all right, now this is where we want to set up our 240 volt loads. So as you can see here, this is a single pole, this is 2 pole, single, 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 2 pole, single, 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 okay? So I'm gonna go circuit 1 stays, but circuits 3 and 5, you grab it and put it together. Now that's a 240 volt load. Click confirm. There we go. Now I'm gonna add it to my home. Now we're gonna do the firmware update. And now it's trying to update the firmware, so we got to let it do its thing, and then the firmware should match with the Delta Pro Ultra X, and we should be able to get them to start communicating. Let's grab that thing and get it over here. One thing I noticed is you don't want to pull your phone away from the smart home panel as it's trying to update the firmware. It tends to have issues doing that. You want to plug it in right here to the AC power in-out port. That's where this is going to plug into. There we go, right here. Make sure you hear a click. I'm going to grab a screwdriver and lock that in place. Same thing with this. I'm going to let it do the firmware update before I plug it in. And that's it, guys. We're good to go. So let's plug in the DPUX now and let's get this thing going. As you can see, it's showing right now that we have about 3.99, 4 kilowatts coming into the house. So let's go ahead and plug this bad boy in. Should see it pick it up right away. There it goes. Just like that. It started flashing. And there it is right there. We see we got the battery. It notices that it's there. There's no errors on here. We can see all of our circuits. Well, at this point, there's a myriad of different settings that we can go through in the app. And that's really dependent on whether or not you want this set up as like an off-grid system or you want to use it like I'm going to be for time of use. So if you have any questions about the settings, feel free to leave a comment and I or another person who's installed one of these will try and get back to you. If you didn't know, I wanted to let you know that I am a licensed EcoFlow dealer now. So if there's anything that you need, feel free to go to the link in the description to my website, fill out the form, and let me know what you need and we can get it shipped right to your house. As always, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all you out there. Take care.